This is Grace with Graceful Living. In the last video, I spoke about how you can convert from a standard American diet to a healthy whole foods plant-based diet. In this video, I'm going to cover how you can stick with that diet and how you can get inspired to continue the rest of your life with a plant-based diet.
So a lot of people, they don't have a problem transitioning, but some people, they have a problem sticking with the plant-based diet. So these are things that you can do to re-inspire you to stick with a plant-based diet. I recommend volunteering at an animal sanctuary. This is a really nice way to establish connection with the animals and understand that they are also living beings and they don't deserve to be treated in the way they're treated in slaughter farms. Another thing you can do is volunteer for an environmental group. I really like B.E.A.C.H here in Hawaii. They do great work, and if you've ever picked up trash from the beach, you realize how much trash is from the fishing industry, and it might kind of inspire you to change your diet and stick with it. I also think it doesn't hurt to go to a good vegan restaurant. It might be a little decadent, have more fat than you normally eat, but if that helps you stick with the diet, then it's worth it. Another thing I think is great inspiration is reading a book. Here are some books that I recommend. Dr. Terry Shintani talks about in this book how you can eat all you want and control your cholesterol and blood sugar. He's helped a lot of Native Hawaiians improve their health. Dean Ornish of the Ornish program has put many people through his program and reversed their heart disease and improved diabetes and other medical issues. This is a great book about lifestyle medicine as well. Eat to Live by Dr. Furman is a great book. It talks about nutrient density and trying to eat foods with the most nutrients. I highly recommend this book. The China Study by Dr. Campbell is a must-read book. He talks about how different regions of China were more susceptible to disease depending on what kind of diet they had. I also recommend How Not to Die by Dr. Greger, about different diseases that you can avoid with your diet. In How Not to Diet, Dr. Greger talks about how you can optimize your weight. This is a book by John Robbins. He's a great author, and his original book, Diet for a New America, was why I went vegetarian. Plants Feel Whole is a great book that goes over nutrition science and has some great recipes in the back as well. Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. It's a great book by Caldwell Esselstyn. It's featured in Forks Over Knives, or his program is featured in the movie Forks Over Knives, which I'll mention later. The Starch Solution is a book by Dr. McDougall. He has a lot of programs and has been advocating a plant-based diet for many years. Next, I'm going to talk about some movies that you can watch which will inspire you to continue a plant-based diet. The first movie is Forks Over Knives. What the Health is a great movie as well. And then there's Cowspiracy. And along with that, Seaspiracy. Changers is a great movie that inspired some younger people to become plant-based. And then there's Code Blue. This movie, a doctor describes how she changed her diet and it changed her life. Another thing you can do to educate yourself and also continue to inspire yourself to stick to the vegan diet would be to check out some websites like nutritionfacts.org by Dr. Michael Greger. PCRM, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, has great information on their site, and nutritionstudies.org is also a great website as well. That's run by Cornell. Mentioned before some of the groups that you can join to get inspired or volunteer for, like B.E.A.C.H, and also the Aloha Animal Sanctuary, on Oahu here and the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii. I realize if you are not local that you may not be able to volunteer at the Aloha Animal Sanctuary, but wherever you live, there's usually an animal sanctuary nearby that you can volunteer, or the Humane Society. And the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii does have videos that you can watch on YouTube with lectures about nutrition and animal rights and other topics that might be of interest. If you have downtime in the car or like to listen to something while you're cooking, there are some great podcasts out there as well, including Nutrition Facts by Dr. Michael Greger, The Exam Room Live by Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, Lillian's Vegan World on ThinkTac, which is more of a video podcast, and then the Brain Health and Beyond podcast with Dean and Aisha Shertzai, who are two neurologists, and the Rich Roll podcast. I just want to say that I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg with these book suggestions, podcast suggestions, and suggestions for volunteering and joining different groups. There's a lot of other stuff on Meetup. There's a lot of other things probably on TikTok that I haven't seen, but here's a start for you. Last thing I mentioned that I want to address is going to a good restaurant. So I haven't done a video on that, but stay tuned for a future video on different vegan restaurants in Oahu and which ones to go for what kind of food. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, or follow me on Instagram. Please go to graceinhawaii.com for more information.